thinking about Valentine's Day or like around that time, somebody may have said something to you that you took as the truth at a time where you actually were feeling pretty inspired or pretty hopeful about where things could go in the future with this situation. The thing is, it came off very straight up. They were lying. This was not the truth. But it's almost giving with the Wheel of Fortune and the Star, like whatever they said here, you took it as the truth because of the way that this person said it. This could have been something that led to like a period of downtime in this relationship. You felt like you misjudged this person or their intentions based in whatever this was. Like it could have thrown you for a bit of a loop, especially because it's looking like it came at a time where you were excited about what was supposed to happen next. I have honeymoon and then love spell here, which is also reminding me of vacation. This person could have been on vacation when they said this, or this could have been something where they were letting you know, like, when I get back, like, I'll see you, or I'm going to take you out, or something that I want to say this was like the middle of like a lovey-dovey little phase you guys were having, or like you guys were just in like a cute place. But I think this person said something that it's not just showing up like, oh, well, they didn't commit on this, or they weren't true to their word. It's like, no, this person literally said something that they can't back up. Like there's a lie that they told. It's almost showing up like they were saying this thing almost as to give you clarification on something. So it could have been like you asked this person a question and then whatever their answer to this was, it like flipped the script. And from then we have the Hermit in reverse. I feel like you felt isolated after this. Judgment in reverse and then the Two of Cups in reverse. You also could have spent some time in isolation after this, assuming that this situation or this relationship was done and that you misjudged the situation, or that there really was no opportunity for something to be resurrected. This could also be about this person lying about a past situation, like not coming back around, or being done. But this King of Swords in reverse, it's almost giving me a weird energy. It's kind of giving me this energy of like this person did this because I think they were trying to gauge your level of interest, but it's coming off like very blunt, like a very blunt. This also could have been you. The Ace of Cups and the King of Pentacles. I feel like it was this person who did this because I know we have the King of Wands here, so okay. I also the Six of Pentacles. I was saying, I feel like this person, like they want something, or they wanted something, or they were trying to see. Oh, I forgot to turn my little lamp on. I feel like this person could have been trying to see if this was something that they could jump into, or if this was something that they could, like keep the momentum with whatever was going on, but they completely stopped the momentum because I think you picked up on this. Or after they said this, I think initially with you showing up as the Queen of Swords, like you could have clocked this, or what you clocked was the fact that this person actually was like very hopeful about what would happen moving forward. And it's showing up like, yeah, they wanted that. They did want to move forward. They wanted to dive into this. It is with love spell, honeymoon, date night, patience. I feel like you guys both were kind of waiting for this. Or there's this mutual feeling of like, you know, something's going to happen, or like something good is coming. But I think that you knew that this person was feeling whatever this is, or was hoping for this, but this person, I don't know what this is. Immediately I would be like, oh, you're just acting nonchalant, or this person was like, but I don't know. The King of Swords in reverse kind of seems like this person might have been overthinking something hardcore. And so they just like decided not, I'm going to pull more cards, but date night, honeymoon, love spell, patient. Like, I feel like giggly and cute and flirty, and like this was like a cute phase you guys were in the middle of, or there was something about like the feeling of this. Also, there could be something about with honeymoon. I'm seeing this as travel. Like, this person could have been on vacation, or you could have been on vacation when this happened. I'm also like, I want to say this could have just happened, but I also feel like something very similar in your life could have happened around Valentine's Day. Or it could have been like with the last person you were with, but I'm seeing this as like, this may have been something where with the patience card and the clock on it and the love spell, it's like whoop, like we got, especially with that Wheel of Fortune and the star that was there, it was like there was a second attempt at something, or something was about to be like a redo, and you guys were both feeling something, and then it was like, nope. But I don't think it just came out like this. I want to know what this is. I want to know more details about this. This person was doing this because they could have been trying to like bide their time, or get more time. The High Priestess, because they knew, yeah, they knew it would slow some things down, and they knew it would slow down the momentum, or they knew that, well, with this person showing up as the King of Swords in reverse, it's looking like whatever this was could have been something where they just talked about it with you, or it could have been something they addressed if they were concerned about like the pace at which things were going. But it's also looking like they kind of did this, and they didn't talk about it directly with you. They just did a thing to buy time so that they could have more time, because they still in the background were investing in this. Like, it's interesting the way this is coming out, because it's like, I want to say this is something that, like, to this person, it was a strategic move on their part. But you showing up as a Queen of Swords and then the High Priestess, you maybe, I want to say part of you may know this was the case, or you know that this person needed more time, or you could have felt like with love spell chemistry like that you guys have, that you could feel it like leading up to something like I was talking about. And you may also have been a little bit concerned, because it's like, okay, we're getting to that point. And then the King of Swords, it's like a strategic move on this person's part, because it's, I want to say, it could feel like a protective mechanism this person kind of does. Of like, okay, well, I kind of need to buy more time to, they needed more time to calm something down, or to transition away from something. And so they knew that saying whatever they said in the moment, I feel like they knew that, or they were confident that that decision that they made would allow them more time. But it's also like, there's a reason they didn't just ask for time or tell you how they were feeling. There's probably a few reasons for that. And it's also like, while you guys weren't talking, the person was still very much like invested in this. But and then the Four of Wands. I don't immediately want to say that this, like, normally in this case I'd be like, okay, that's weird. Like, this person has, like, they're swiper, right? Like, swipe or no swiping. But I don't think that's the case in this specific situation, because it does seem like something's still coming. It just seems like the momentum was all taken out of the equation here. And it also seems like with patience, you kind of, there's something here with the High Priestess and then the Patience card. You know about this thing, which sometimes makes me think of like proposals. But this, I don't know if that's the case. This came out of nowhere, whatever this was. This was like, huh? They knew, I want to say, they for sure knew you would feel that way. that you would be baffled or that this would shock you. And I also feel like I'm saying this like very straightforward, but I'm not like, I don't want it to come off like I'm attacking this person, because there's something about this that like they needed to smooth something over. They needed to do it in a way. They felt really compelled to do it in this way. And I don't think it's just coming from a place of a protective mechanism, but I think this person in the past, you could have thought that that was the case. The Two of Pentacles. They had to... I think this person had to choose between like, all right, if I have to choose between waiting and pushing this off so that this person doesn't like so this person doesn't get their hopes up for something specific, versus going with this the way that this person wants. They chose the first option, and I think it threw you off. Like it probably came out of nowhere. The Wheel of Fortune. Something about this benefiting you. And then the Empress. There is something about this benefiting you, but I don't think you like this. I don't think you like to be in this position. Also, we have this Yes card. Luck is on your side. I want to know what vibe I'm supposed to... Higher power. There's that Celebration card again. Seek healing. And then yes, again, just saying yes. I was saying the other day, like this person you could be going or attending a wedding with someone. This person could like randomly out of the blue ask you if you want to be their date to something. You might see this as an opportunity of like, okay, maybe we can make amends, or I don't think you know what the hell this person's up to. With mystery, embrace uncertainty, and then Keepers of the Earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Also, sorry, my shower is dripping, so you can probably hear it tick, tick, tick. My heart is like racing. This person could be proposing to you. Accept help, seek healing, embrace uncertainty. Also, this is reminding me of like Lolly for some reason. Whatever this person's doing, it's showing up like they had to buy some time. They know you would be uncertain about what the fuck's going on, but I think that they also like know you well enough to know that's the case. I think that they decided that's a chance they want to take anyways, and I also feel like them reinitiating whatever this is, it's almost showing up like they might have to like book you a flight or take you on a trip, or there's something about like would have to get you on this plane to go and do this thing that you might be a little bit hesitant about, because you're like, well, dude, maybe we should have a conversation about what the fuck's happening. But at the same time, it's almost like it's giving me the vibe of like, just go on the thing, because there's something about this being like part of the plan, which is making me think of a proposal, right? Like somebody trying to keep a secret because it has to go according to plan, so they have to kind of tell some sort of like, you know, little white lie, or they have to throw you off a little bit, and you might have been on to them. So it's kind of cute. Also, accept help. This may be something where this person, and then you are not alone. Like, this person may have maybe needed take a risk. This person maybe needed some more people to help guide them on whatever this is, or to help them set this up. Love, and then the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. This one makes sense because I have been doing readings about somebody, or you guys being in a relationship and somebody wanting to get married, or somebody's like their life starting to move really quickly and them having to be really patient for something. I kind of want to look into like what the emotion is that this person is feeling, and maybe get some confirmation about whether this is something that you're benefiting from, and this is something you'd be excited about because you got like just say yes, or if this is something where it's like, okay, like, but you're showing up as the Queen of Swords. I feel like you are picking up on the fact that maybe this isn't something that you need to be super concerned about. You don't really need to kind of look into this. I'm gonna worry less on the top. So I just want confirmation of that. But I don't know. I think whatever this was, it's like hearing it kind of threw you off because it stopped all the momentum or the progression, like the course at which you thought this situation was gonna run. But I feel like you have a pretty good understanding of like the situation. I want to know how this energy, how this King of Swords in reverse energy is feeling about the situation. So this could be something that perseverance, they're wanting to move forward with something. And then death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Friendship. We have imagination and then discipline. Also, this, I think the song's called Imagination by Foster the People, popped into my head. And then this friendship song reminded me of the song Best Friend by Foster the People. So that could be a band that you listen to, or that could be, I don't know, the lyrics of that song could be significant in some way. But I feel like there's something about this person having to kind of gain discipline over their imagination. So like this person having to kind of, they are somebody who does struggle with uncertainty in this situation. And I think that, like I was saying in part one, there may have been some overthinking that occurred during that phase of like excitement for whatever could happen next. And I think that that was something that they did not push through the first time. And so it's not just looking like this person was planning something and they're trying to throw you off. I think they did try to throw you off because they were uncertain. And it may have been that them trying to throw you off was an attempt for them to kind of receive some sort of like, they wanted you to say a specific thing in response to it so that they could get some confirmation or validation of like how like to move forward, or if this is okay to move forward. But I don't think that they did in whatever this was. The friendship card is throwing me off a bit though, I'm not gonna lie. This may also be something where their friends, they're realizing that they right now, and or over the last, like since whatever this was went down, what if this might have been in February, but they needed to gain discipline over their mind or choose their own thoughts here in the situation, because they could see how their friendships affect that. So they could have people in their life who let them know like things or feed into their doubts that they have in the situation. But with perseverance and then death and then friendship, this could have also been a situation where you and this person like decided that you were just gonna keep things like at kind of a like bare minimum, or like a really minimum kind of surface level with each other. This almost seems like a situation where you guys both mutually like agreed, like let's just be friends. And so there is kind of this vibe of like this feeling like it's starting up again, or this cycle, or was a redo, like I was saying, like a second attempt at something, especially because we have the past here on top. But I think it's because you may notice that this like lovey kind of, I don't know what's happening next, like embracing uncertainty, mystery energy is coming back up. Because if this is the case and you guys decided like, okay, let's just see what happens in the situation moving forward without any expectations, and like just as friends basically. And this death card says, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. This could have really marked like the beginning of like you guys actually either getting to know each other again in a way that makes you both feel less uncertain about what the next steps would be. So it's almost like you guys, this person slammed the brakes in order to, like I was saying in part 2, maybe buy time to kind of invest in the situation. But they did it in a way that I think is like your discernment, like I was saying, is that Queen of Swords might have thrown you off a little bit. And I feel like the reason that that's the case is because as a Queen of Swords, you're like, you can see through shit. So this may have been like, but I think you took it at face value. Fear. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. I think this person is having kind of a moment where they're realizing that like they actually do put a lot of emphasis on like things that they're scared of happening in the situation. And I think that they pump the brakes because not because they have evidence of these things actually happening, but because they're just worried about these things happening. And so it's like there's like a level of patience, but at the same time, it's like not really, because like you don't really need to have that much patience, because I feel like you're not showing up as an impatient person. You're showing up as just like a very direct, or you have clear intentions type of person. And I feel like if anything, you maybe being the queen of respect and logic, you could have also understood that this person had this fear, but at the same time, you could have not really felt like it was the most valid thing in the world, because you don't give this person, you may feel like you didn't give this person a lot of evidence that like feeds their imagination here about the doubts that they have that they feel like would have gotten in the way of this relationship. So I want to know what else this person's feeling or what their intentions are, because if you guys are kind of communicating again and you're in this like lovey, you're kind of excited, feeling like some butterflies energy, then like I kind of want to look into that. But I also want to know like if this person did get word from their friends about something, or if their friends gave them advice, which is my advice deck, I kind of want to know maybe what that would look like. So if we pick up on that, we'll talk about that. But if not, this might just be advice for you. 8, so August could be a significant month coming up. Also the 8th, 8 days from now, 8 p.m., the Dancer. You must feel free to express yourself if you want to live a truly authentic life of quality and meaning. Our souls dance unending. I feel like that's confirmation of you maybe feeling like you have pretty like straight up communication attempts with this person, or you feel like you've communicated like who you are like to the best of your ability. And then we have 11, so November, or like 11 could just be a significant number for you. The Maya. Allow past mistakes to help you see through all illusions so you can understand and act upon what you know is real and what you know is false. That's what I feel like this person's doing. I feel like they're like I said, gaining discipline over their own mind or their imagination or the fears or the doubts. Because I think this person is kind of leaning into like the version of you that they know and trust, and not so much like whatever. This could have been something where this person, where you both kind of had this matching vibe of like let's just, like, I don't want to go too deep, but this person doesn't go too deep. And so there was a lot left in the air, that like out in the unknown. I feel like you maybe in the past took the step here to like try to get this to a place where you're like, no, I'm not going to feed into all the, like, I don't know what the certainty is in this situation, or let's just keep it just vibes. And you could have started, like, you could feel like you had to learn how to just directly communicate very upfront and clear with this person, because you understand or know from the past how it creates all these illusions, or you understand maybe or feel like you kind of fed this energy of uncertainty, because I feel like you saw this person's doubts or you see this person's fear. This also does seem like a situation where you guys probably were involved. Like this could have been August of last year, or November of last year. And so if this is November of last year, then that means August, you're coming up on like a 9-month cycle here of something where you're getting an opportunity to move forward, or to leave whatever this was as a cycle in the past. But if that's not the case, it's kind of just saying like, you understand how it may be that this person just lacks like the ability to kind of communicate their fears up front and be direct. And you may have picked up on that, but at the same time, you can't really control that, and you can't like kind of assume that this person is just always like having some kind of fear or imagining things in the background that they're just not talking to you about, because that's not your responsibility to constantly just be a walking like reassurance, right? For things that this person's not asking for reassurance on. But to this group, this will make sense. You understand how in the past you have maybe feel like you have contributed to this person feeling unsure about certain things because maybe you were not direct or you're not straight up with this person about certain things. So I feel like if that's the case, or if you're just now picking up on this, you may be asked to start being really direct with this person, or just to have clear intentions here if this person comes to you moving forward. I feel like these cards are about this person, so I don't think these fears are yours per se. The butterfly, 10, October, and completing a cycle, which is what I was saying. That's 10. So allow yourself to leave behind the past and what is no longer necessary so you can truly be the person you've worked hard to become. This person may also have, like, they may have ended a friendship, or they may not be talking to the person who used to feed a lot of their doubts or make them feel like this person could have had a person in their life that really was very like, oh, you better watch out. Or like this person could be someone who has a hard time being vulnerable or like actually understanding the value of a relationship. And they may be someone who is kind of more like, this person that they were connected with, this person may not be like the most self-aware person. They may just be someone who is very comfortable with like how they live their life, or like, come on, let's party, or like, let's hang out, let's do certain things. And like, they're not really, it's not a bad thing, but it's just showing up like they're very set in their ways. And so this person may trust this other person a lot, so they may like be really good at instilling some kind of doubt or fear in this person's mind because of how confident they feel about the advice that they would give this person. And for example, it's like this person confides in their close friend who can't really relate in this situation to the relationship that they have with you, but they're like, like I was saying, this person you're connected to, they may have just been going to this other person for some kind of validation to like move forward. And like when you go to your friend and you're like, hey, I'm going to do this thing, but you're telling them because you're like kind of excited about it, but you feel a little nervous about it. And so when your friend kind of gives you like the, oh my gosh, that sounds so exciting, like, are you looking forward to it? Tell me about this, or like, how is it? It's like that positive influence, or that like, that gives us kind of a boost to go into things that like we are a little bit uncertain about, because we're being supported, right? And so I think that whatever this was, it could have been that their friend would be someone who, if they came to them like that, they would have been like, oh, well, have you checked who she's following, or he, or have you guys ever done that before? Or are you sure you want to do that? Or do you know if she even like does that? There's something here that this person maybe said that gave them some kind of fear. And I think that this person, it affirmed some kind of doubt or some kind of like imagination, something that they came up with on their own. And I think that if anything, this could be something where this person recognized like, okay, I maybe can't go to this person for advice anymore, or I need to just kind of leave like my energy of me operating in this situation with this person like that in the past. I think this person has been going through like this huge energy over the last maybe 6 months of figuring out like ultimately how to push through fear, but to kind of have more discernment with, you know, what advice they take, what people they're getting certain advice from. It could also just be like a lesson in boundaries. I think the boundaries card was, yeah, underneath this truth card. What is this one? Yes, just say yes. I also have one, the shaman, so January. I also sometimes see that as like one, like tomorrow. So you could be in communication with this person, especially if this is somebody that you have kind of maintained like some type of relationship with since whatever this was, this event that I was talking about from the beginning of the year. But it says the shaman, work on healing and empowering yourself if you want to be useful to others on their own journey from suffering to healing. This doesn't seem like a situation where you guys have a ton of tension or conflict happening, or that you guys are in a no contact thing. So I'll just say that that is the case for this situation. This seems like one where you may not fully actually know what's going on with this person in their personal life. Like, I actually don't think you know who this person talks to or gets advice from. I don't think you know who this person like contacts on like a weekly basis, or like what they spend a lot of their time thinking about or doing. I think you're, like I said, I think it's been pretty surface level for the most part, where you guys just maintain your own little vibe in your own way, and you guys don't really like you do your own thing, and your guys' relationship is about you, and you may not fully know what each other's up to. Also, 15, teacher. You would do well to read more, otherwise learn about those who have worked diligently to attain what you seek and succeed. So on one hand, I think that that might be something where you're like, okay, I'm getting to a point where I'm recognizing that I am wanting to now move forward with something that is not just surface level, especially if this person is a friend in my life. Like, I'm wanting to get back to a place where we do understand each other on a deeper level, especially if we both have boundaries up and we're deciding that the line in the sand that we've drawn here is like, we're just gonna be friends. Not a lot of this is giving me romantic vibes. So I don't think this is someone that you have had like those types of interactions with in a while. It may be something where like you guys haven't spoken to each other as if you are interested in each other, whatever way. Like, I don't think you guys, it is kind of giving like you've kept things pretty platonic. And I don't just mean like, you know, you guys flirt or you guys like don't get super deep. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's been really any flirting. This does not seem like someone that there's like a lot of sexual tension with right now, or that there has been, or that your most recent communication was almost like wanting to go there, or like you guys kind of having the opportunity, that you're just turning the corner on an opportunity for there to be some kind of excitement again in that specific regard. It makes me feel like this hasn't been like that in a while. It also could be something where you've had to feel like you've had a lot of discipline in that regard. Because that could have been something where your guys' relationship was never really like that. 28 and 27. I don't even know what day it is. A couple days ago. The poet and the protector. Make your life a work of art and your art a work of life. See the poetry in the mundane, you will be rewarded beyond measure. You guys could have gone to like art situations or like a museum together or something, or it's making me think of Picasso. The protector. Surround yourself with people who lift you, accept you as you are, believe in your vision and purpose, and bring out the best in you. It is kind of giving this vibe of like turning a new leaf. And I think that there is the opportunity for you guys to kind of relearn each other, almost as if like you're dipping your toe in again to this relationship in a way where you're both a little bit more open to what it could look like if it was more than just what it has been. And I think you're going to mutually feel that energy, but this is a relationship where you guys both have been growing as individuals. I want to pull some cards specifically on like Two, that February that I was talking about, don't be discouraged if things look dark and hopeless. The sun rises each day, revealing renewed possibility, renewed hope. I think that's confirmation of what I said about you maybe having to have some kind of discipline, because you could have had hopes that, like, yeah, I want this person in my life in some context, or I do eventually want to see this kind of take off again, but I also want to respect whatever relationship we currently have. And it seems like it was kind of a mutual decision for you guys to, like, not let the fire burn down, but to kind of put the fire out in that regard for a little while. And there's this element of trying to, like, have respect for the relationship in that way, because there was so much unknown or so much uncertainty that I think you couldn't, like, you guys couldn't get past, or this person couldn't get past. So I want to know about how you're feeling about this person currently, because this person, we got a lot about, like, where they're at and what they're, like, what got in the way here, or how they're feeling about this when they think back to why the relationship is where it is since whatever happened back in winter, right? I think this person has intentions that I want to say mirror yours, but there's not, it says accept responsibility, but that's a mirror, right? These are too lovey, and then these are too, like, aggressive. And I feel like you guys would be, like, right in the middle of that, because I don't think there's been conflict. I don't think you guys have beef or, like, hidden resentment here, but I also feel like you guys aren't diving into, like, the I want to lay next to you at night, like, vibes like this deck talks about. But I'm still gonna pull some anyways, because there are some neutral ones in here. So I want to know how you are currently feeling about this person. I tried to run from this connection, but my soul craves you. I am finally seeing my worth, yet I still feel unworthy of your love. I don't understand what you see in me. I don't feel attracted. I feel like whatever happened here, I feel like it threw you off, and it maybe made you feel like this person, I think it instilled doubt in your head about how, I don't think you feel big resentment, but I think that the fact that your guys' relationship is where it is at, part of the reason why maybe it has been easier to maintain that, or you've been able to be disciplined about not letting it get to where you want it to go, or kind of reserving your own, like, feelings in that regard, is that maybe you know what you would want, but you don't think this person wants that with you, or there was a little part of you that knows maybe that this person does, but you're like, there could have been a part of you that was like, well, if this person did, like, want my love, or if they were really truly attracted to me in this way, or wanted this, if they're, like this card says, my soul craves you, if their soul craved me the way I crave them, then maybe this wouldn't be where it's at, and so this person maybe doesn't feel this way about me. And so it kind of mirrors maybe some of the doubts that this person had, but I don't really immediately want to say, like, you just have, like, an insecurity about this. I feel like where this situation is at kind of got this here, but this person's doubt, I think a lot of it was fed into by this person, and I think a lot of your doubt was confirmed by this person not being authentic or showing up authentically the way they wanted to, because it flipped the script on what you knew to be true, what you felt to be true in your heart of this person, or how they felt about you, and you were going probably a lot off of that. And I think this person, they got their doubts affirmed by somebody else's, maybe their advice that threw them off. And I am finally seeing my worth, yet I still feel unworthy of your love. I think this is something where you maybe would feel like the lovey feelings of this person, and you started, like, flirting a little bit more. You started seeing this kind of happen, and you were getting, like, affirmations here that this person actually is feeling this way, like, from the source, right? But I kind of feel like this is something where you might notice that when this person starts to do this, like coming up, because I do think this person is going to, I want to say this is going to happen within the next month or the next couple of weeks, like the next 2 weeks, you may notice this because this is a collective where you guys are speaking. I think that your conversations, when they start to kind of go this way, I think that something that you might notice that happens or want to be aware of happening is this energy of you kind of not giving a lot away or letting it fly straight over your head, because I think you're the type of person that you know you're worth somebody communicating this stuff to you, but I think that you have not really let yourself get your hopes up in a certain way after whatever this was happened. And I think until you get some kind of confirmation from this person that they actually do feel this way, I think you maybe are like initially gonna be like, okay, well, I'm feeling like that's cute and like what this person's saying, like I wanna match the vibe, like I wanna dip my toe in too. But I think that the thing that would stop you from doing that is almost just responding to this person as if, yeah, we're just friends. So you could be somebody who kind of has a hard time picking up on like those little subtle like cues that it's like the relationships this person's wanting to kind of take it there. And they may be someone who is not super direct, or they're not used to communicating really directly. I tried to run from this connection, but my soul craves you. You know what that's reminding me of is the idea of like when we feel like we're connecting with someone's like higher self, or we feel like we see a version of them that like the only us knows that version of them, or only them knows that version of us, and we both like have this shared soul connection. But it's kind of reminding me specifically of you maybe haven't seen that version of this person in a while. Like you could have had specific thoughts of like, okay, well, you could have at one time believed that this was like a soul connection, that this person was your soulmate, or that like I'm just imagining something going from like like you let yourself have an imagination here to like zoop, like nope, this is what it is. And I think that you've deduced it to this, but you're valid in doing that because of whatever happened here. I'll get one more of these. How you're feeling about this person. So you don't feel like this person feels attracted to you, and you may not be feeling like, I don't want to say you don't feel worthy of their love, but I feel like you don't see the value, or you may not see the value of like a certain flirty communication and what that holds, that this person sends to you, because I don't think you're gonna let yourself, or I think you'd have to retrain yourself to kind of look at it this way, because you felt rejected by this person in some form. I know that you may not feel for me the same as I feel for you, so you are still in love with this person most likely. How do you feel towards this person? But the thing is, I feel like you went from having this confidence at one point that this person just was acting a certain way, or they had fears, to then eventually being like so thrown off here that you were like, okay, well, I am just going to take this at face value. Like, I'm just going to move forward in the situation as if, you know, we don't flirt, we are just friends. There's a mutual understanding of that, and that's how we show up, and that they do not want me in that way. That ship has sailed, and that this is... So it actually might kind of take you off guard a little bit if this person starts like laying it on you. It's just kind of sucks. It sucks because it's like you're gonna get the thing that your soul craves, like this card talks about, from this person. I don't want to say you are. This person, you're gonna see that. You're gonna see that they're wanting to do that, but you are gonna have a hard time in your heart reconciling with that, or accepting it, because it's like, the way I would describe this is like, it almost feels like heartbreaking a little bit to be getting this from this person, because it's going to affirm it's gonna kind of be a little bit validating for the version of you that you thought you were okay with, that thought was okay and could handle just being friends with this person. And so this person sort of now, ugh. So this person sort of now doing this in the way where like, yeah, you're starting to feel this version of this person that you, I want to say that you fell in love with, coming back around or coming back online, is how I want to put it. It's going to be like, whoa. Like there's something very validating about like, I want to say an internal, like what I was saying about you saw a side of this person that you started questioning or you accepted, like, okay, I have to just kind of grieve this version of this person or this version of this relationship and grieve like the love. I want to say you didn't take time to grieve the relationship with this person in the way that it's going to hit you. And I think that that's going to be a little bit of, I think you're actually going to be able to navigate that. I want to say like you'd be able to navigate like feeling that, those feelings for a past version of yourself that had to stay strong so that you could still maintain the bond that you had with this person. Oh my God, there's so much weight in that. I don't even know if I fully gave that like the moment that it needed, but I have to keep going or I'm gonna lose it. I don't know if I should pull these lovey ass cards. This is gonna set me off. I was saying at the beginning, this person, something about like, saying at the beginning something about like a proposal or something, this person wanting to propose something, and then I kind of was like, I don't know, this might be something where you guys just kind of like, but this, I don't want to wait any longer, please be mine. I was pulling cards for you. I feel like you want this with this person, and I feel like, yeah, they probably are going to propose some stuff to you, or they're going to see the intention, but I don't think you're going to let yourself really believe it at first. But then I think this is going to be something where it is something where you can't deny it. So this person may actually give you some confirmation, which I'm going to check, but they may be coming to you with like something that they actually have been waiting. And I don't think this person has just been viewing you as a friend. I think you guys both I just think you've been blind to this person and their actual, like you guys really did keep it kind of surface level, but this person, I want to say they're your match when it comes to just holding this in and keeping it to themselves. And you guys both did that, but I think that once this hits you that this is where this is going, or this is where this person is, like, once it hits you that this person is kind of, oh, wow, okay, they are wanting that. It's like, yeah, that's what you've wanted. And maybe you still think about it, or you like imagine or visualize what that would be like, but when you actually get it, it brings up a lot. I think it's going to bring up a lot in you. It doesn't mean that, a relationship can't move forward, but I think you're going to have to be patient with yourself, because you're going to be moving through some waves here that I think you thought you had some composure over for a while. I think you thought, and you were probably doing pretty well holding it together, but oh man, you have to be patient. Confirmation. I think that may also be something where I'm not going to say you're going to communicate this with this person. I don't think you would communicate this with this person, just because I think you'd have to also reconcile, or like you'd have to do some thinking here. But I think this is the type of connection where you guys both, you try to move forward while I think this is going to put you back into, it's like you're picking up where things kind of took off, or where a certain version of you that you like, I just had deja vu, and I'm still sitting in deja vu, which is really confirmation of what I was about to say, which is, I think that this is a situation where it's very unique, and this collective, this is what I'm going to say is very specific. So if this doesn't make sense to you, or this is not like a thought that you've had over like the last couple of months, or recently, then this reading probably isn't for you at all. But I think that there's something about this feeling like it is deja vu. So there's something about you having grown as a person and like evolved since the first time that you may have known this person for a long time. You guys could have been really romantically involved with each other a couple years ago. I don't think that you guys operate the way that you used to in that regard. I think that you almost like laid that version of you to rest, or you may have thought like, well, no, I just outgrew this version of myself, not as it pertains to the relationship, but just how you would show up in that relationship. And so I think that come tomorrow, if this all of a sudden would like pressed play from that place, it's like, that's probably not how it's going to happen, but I don't think that you'd be able to operate in that way. I think that's why so much of the stuff about me saying like, this is going to hit you weird, it's going to make you kind of have to process and almost grieve, because I think that you thought that you maybe outgrew this version of you, but it's like, no, she wasn't nurtured, she wasn't given what she's about to be given. And when she is, that's why so much is like gonna come up, and it's almost like gonna be this deja vu, because you're gonna feel like you are literally being transported into like a version of you that you have not stepped foot in, like you haven't put yourself in her shoes in a while. And it could be something where like very specifically like you go back in like your camera roll, or you look at pictures of yourself from this time, and you may kind of look at yourself and be like, damn, like that was a different person. I don't know her anymore. Like I feel like you could reminisce about this connection sometimes and be like, I don't even know what we would be able to do to like, how would we get that back? Like, how were we there and how are we here? And so I think you're going to have to be patient with yourself, because I think this version of you is going to come back, which is also something I was saying a couple days ago in another reading, which makes sense because my collectives kind of have similar themes going on in these readings, but you guys have very specific differences in your situations. So don't make this one fit. That seems like a very important part of this reading, this collective. I love you to the moon and back 1,000,000 times. That makes me think of like space movies, like Interstellar, or that one, or like Gravity, or the Matt Damon one with the potatoes. Now is not the time. I kind of see that as you being like, why now? Not that, I don't think you're going to turn this person down, but I think you're going to be shook a little bit, because I think that you're going to be like, okay, you're going to be feeling the vibes and the butterflies, and like you're going to want to flirt back. But I think that when this person actually isn't just flirting, when they're showing you that they have actual intentions for this, I think that's when you're going to be like, wait, why is this happening now? And I think that version of you from a couple years ago is going to be like, who cares? It's happening now. But I think that you now is going to have a hard time actually letting yourself feel like this is real and feel like this person is doing this. And what sucks is that I feel like not only are you going to have a hard time processing this, but it's almost like it requires you to process this first before you could even explain this to this person. I want to know what this is going to look like how the progression of this is going to look. Because I'm saying this as this is going to happen over the next month. This is going to happen in August, or whenever you're seeing this reading a month from now, right? The High Priestess, the Two of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. I feel like this person always kind of shows up as the King of Pentacles in this collective. I also think this might be the same collective where I was saying something about like this person could have gotten you something, like a t-shirt or something from a few years ago, or something specific from like you guys really, the reason you have a friendship now is because you really did have like a soulmate bond, right? It's not showing up like a situation where it's like, well, I really just like, I want this person in my life in any context, because even though they're not giving me the things that I want, and like person's treating me a certain way, but I just want their attention. It's not like that. It's like, no, you guys had a real, like an actual like soul connection. Okay, so how is this gonna look over the next month? So I want to say it's going to start by you having a lot of shit going on in your life that's almost like, how do I sort all of this out? So it could be like you just are very busy, or you're very much like, okay, well, I have to get some ducks in a row. I think it's like starting now, or you may currently be feeling like that. You're like, I have to, like, I just have so many projects going on with work, and I have a lot of time invested here, and like my kids, and like my, you know, I'm working on like revamping my house, or I'm working on, like, you have all these different things going on, or things that you maybe, some of them are tornadoes. So this could also have to do with your interpersonal like relationships. Like you could be working some things out with certain family members or certain people in your life, or somebody may be coming back around, and like that kind of thing. And I feel like you are going to get to a place where you feel like you kind of can actually see, like in the next week or two, how things kind of really quickly, sort of the fog clears, and you feel like you actually have a lot more control over all of the different shit that's going on. So you could currently be going through like a bunch of random stuff, and you're like just rolling with it now. I also feel like this is something where you may have, this also is very specific, but you may have, like, I'm seeing this as a friend who is going through, it could be like a breakup or a divorce or something like that. They could be associated with this person, your main person that I'm talking about, but I'm kind of seeing it as like that's just going on in their life, whether they know this person that you're involved with or not. And that seems like it's just kind of tying in with, like, if you are going through that, or you know that somebody in your life is kind of, you're helping them process through like a breakup or something going on, or helping them move on or move out of a certain chapter of their life, you might feel like that's one of the cups here that you're trying to help people navigate through, or helping. You may also have a ton of other people in your life that you're helping them kind of, you could be somebody who's just like a personal assistant, or like a I think that's what it's called, like you help people organize their stuff, or you could be like a therapist or that kind of thing. And I feel like there's a situation where you're seeing this person be pretty hopeless about this situation, or they just feel like there's not a lot of opportunity for them, but you're pretty much on top of things in your life. I also feel like there's something about, I want to know how this person comes in. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. You could be moving, or you could also feel like that is on the books, or there's someone in your life who, like, you're helping them move. I want to say that is probably going to be the key indicator of around when this person and you are going to be communicating kind of a little more actively, or a little bit more, like, it might get a little deeper. But I want to know what that specifically looks like. I kind of feel like that would maybe, it's not something that I think you're expecting to happen right now. I think that it's something where it, like, we got the number 1, right? Or the number 8, if this person connects with you, or they text you tomorrow, or they call you tomorrow, and you guys talk in a week again, and then you start kind of like gradually speaking, it may be something where, like, that is not unexpected for your guys' relationship. What I was talking about in the last part, and how this looks. High Priestess again. And the 3 of Wands. Ah. 3 of Wands, Strength, 3 of Cups. This person may ask you if you want to attend. Oh, I was saying this in part 1. This person may ask you if you want to attend some kind of celebration with them, or I was saying, like, will you accompany them or be their date to something? Whether this is a party, a friend's party, a birthday thing, or this could be something really specific. Also the Strength card, it's like this person, there's something about them really feeling your loyalty, like, as a person before they do this, or when they're, like, right when they're about to do this, that I think almost, like, solidifies this for them. And I think that you're maybe, I think if anything, this is something where you're maybe still gonna, at this point, because of, like I was talking about, right, like everything that had happened in the past, you may still kind of see this as like, oh, okay, so we'll just, like, go as friends, and, like, should I bring my friend, like, with me, or is this like is this a thing where, you know, multiple people can come? And I think you're still gonna be seeing this as, like, I don't think you're going to be seeing this as like a romantic thing, or not initially. I think this is when it starts to maybe set in that this person actually kind of has some intention for this to go that road. But I don't think it's like until you actually see this person, I don't think that's where you're going to think this is going. Literally. I'm like, okay, this is maybe how, I almost want to say you're going to have, or this could have just happened, but you could have had a moment where you're like, okay, this person asking me to do a certain thing or letting me know about them attending this thing, it reminds you of some kind of grief that you experienced about how like, oh, well, back in the day, this person would have absolutely asked me to attend this thing, or we would have gone to this together. So there could have also been some kind of like anniversary of something that just popped up. And I think that the idea of this person, like, of you guys having to do this just as friends, there's something about that hitting. And then we have everything is fine, which is you kind of feeling like you have to stuff it down a little bit. And then we have this King of Wands here, and then we have the Knight of Wands, and then we have the Empress, and then we have the Two of Cups, but then we have the Magician. I'm saying this is like, they don't want to be friends. This is when they start taking action, which is like, you don't even see it at first, right? But this person sees you as the Empress. This is like, I want to come get my person. I want to come get my girl. Like, giddy up, baby. Also, this is some real sexual attraction. Like, this is like, ooh, like you get it going for this person. They do not want to be friends. I feel like that is something where like, you might not even see that as something that's very obvious, because this person could just be a King of Wands. They could just be like that. They could just be like someone who, you initially might be like, okay, this person's just like in a weird mood or something. It's for you. They see you as the Empress. And then we have the Magician. This is, just know that like when you see this starting to happen, this is their attempt here to get you guys out of the place that you're at. This is when they dip their toe in. And I feel like they think that it's going to be obvious, but they don't know that you have all these doubts about this person not feeling this way. I think that this person's been so consumed about how they feel about where things ended up, and how they're seeing that because this meant a lot to them, this relationship, and it still does, and it did the whole time. Like, how they feel about you, I don't think that left either, but I think that they didn't allow themselves to feel into this or to act on it, because like I was saying, this person, they had too many doubts. They had things affirming their doubts. And I think that you didn't get to hear about this. And I think this person went over this in their head. And I think they understood something happened, whether that friendship ended or they saw how somebody else's life was affected in this way, and how like they need to stop taking other people's advice, or they need to start thinking for themselves, and how it affected, like how it really affected this connection, like the way they let themselves think about this. And I think that they've been so consumed with that, so they show up a certain way that almost is like, yeah, they're being courteous of this relationship too by not going above and beyond, because they're still figuring out how they're feeling here and how they're going to move forward, and if it's respectful to you and that sort of thing. But you guys don't have a lot of like real verbal explicit communication. You just tried to maintain this bond as like the way that you guys do and the way you have over the last few months. And I also think that this is something where like you've been so like, you have felt maybe so let down by where the situation is at that you kind of had to accept. I think you've been in a phase of like, okay, acceptance, but I don't think that's been easy. I think that also comes with all this energy of like, not even grief, but like feeling like you were wrong about certain things, or that you have to accept that this person doesn't feel a certain way. And I don't even think that's the case. I think that you just didn't get a lot of confirmation of that. I also think this High Priestess card, this is when you get back into your High Priestess mode about this connection, like in the next month. But it's like, because you see this person kind of continuously showing this, I think there is a moment of like, there might be a conversation here that you guys have that is not planned, where you guys actually talk about all of this stuff. And I feel like it's not one that has pressure. I feel like it might also be kind of hard for this person to do, because it looks like they're just going to be a horn dog for you for a couple of weeks there, maybe towards the end of the month. But I feel like this person feels like they have to have some kind of energy of determination, because they feel like they fucked it up. Like this person, this King of Wands and the Knight of Wands, I'm saying it as like determination, potentially some honor. not just that they feel guilty of messing it up, but I feel like they're like, this is my redemption, which makes sense, kind of on theme with what I've been talking about in this reading. But I don't know, I feel like that's when your high priestess, like that version of you that you feel like you did know the situation, you did know this person, like you know exactly how this works, like that, she's the one that comes back online. The Lovers. And then Temperance. I do think that all the patience and learning how to temper yourself and get yourself to inner harmony was absolutely necessary. I do think you're a different person than you were a couple of years ago. I think it's going to be hard, but I think like internally, but this is like, see what happens after this comes